So my specialist at the hospital, we discussed getting a second opinion on this, and I was referred to another hospital. And I went to see the doctor there, and he had reviewed my file, and basically what he said to me was, I don't agree with the opinion of the former hospital, but we also offer a different option at this hospital, and something that you might be interested in if there are other donors that are not the same blood type as yourself. And what that option is, it's called an ABO, Incompatible Kidney Transplant. And what it means is you can actually receive a transplant from another blood type conditional on satisfying the criteria that is needed. So in other words, they have to do the test and look at the antibodies and stuff like that in your blood versus the other blood. I can't give you the medical stuff.
No, of course not. But you're just saying that it is possible for somebody with your blood type, that you could match with somebody that's A or B. You could, depending on these rigorous and very prescribed tests, making sure that all those, because we're no doctors here, so making sure all that medical stuff really makes sense, antibodies are at levels, things just work.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. So on that same day, I met with one of the nurses there. Actually, he was the head of that department. And he explained this process to me, basically to give just a brief description of it. What they would have to do is, if we got a donor, a suitable donor, they would have to do, I don't want to call it a test, but what they have to do is filter my blood to pull out the antibodies in my blood. And the department that does this is a department called apheresis. Now, I may be pronouncing that wrong, but it's something like dialysis where they put a jugular line in your neck.
Right.
And they can use that to hook you up to a machine that uses plasma to take out antibodies from your blood and then return it to you. And that process takes 3 to 4 hours for each treatment. So it's something that was an option. I looked at it and, I said, I don't know, I'll think about this, because it sounded quite complicated, right?
Of course, even you just telling me and I don't know any, I'm like, oh, that sounds like a lot more testing and a lot more just a lot more to go on before you even get to a donor.
Yeah, and I wasn't too keen on the idea of having a jugular line put in
through your neck. Of course, nobody is.
Going to my heart, right?
Right.
But anyhow, I said, you know what, let me think about it and I'll get back to you. But in the meantime, I had a donor, my son-in-law.
This guy over here, Steve.
Yeah. Who had always said to me, Dad, I love you, and if there's anything I could do to help you with this situation, let me know, and I'm there for you. And the first thing that we did was we entered what they call the peer exchange program that they run across the country. And what that is you may not have a suitable donor,
right.
But that donor, you may have another person that may not have a suitable donor, but his donor is probably suitable for you, and my donor could be suitable for him, and hence the peer exchange. And it's a program, I think they run it every 3 months across the country to see if they can get a match.
Oh, wow.
And Steve and I entered into that. I think we were in that for a year and a half, 2 years. And we weren't getting anywhere.
So you were in the program, you had the second hospital you went to, you had this option on the table, but you're thinking about it, but you went into this program and still no match. So then what happened next?
Well, then I decided, you know what, let's try this ABO and see how it goes.
Okay.
So it wasn't a slam dunk.
Right.
Steve still had to get tested now to make sure that he was a good candidate and I was a good candidate to accept his kidney.
Right. So Steve, when this process started now,
Yeah.
how did you even say, okay, let's do it? How did you come to that thought process?
Like when we got to this ABO?
When you were
Or from
gonna
the very beginning?
from the very beginning to even just start testing, because now Dad's thinking, okay, maybe let's do ABO. How did you even get to that point where you're like, all right, let's do the testing now?
Like Dad said, it was something that I always, from the beginning, said that I'd like to help in any way that I can. So I was always ready, sort of on deck. Like Dad said, there was a few prospective donors already on the table, and there's Nadia and Richard. And everything, with every donor, it just seemed to be like an issue where each donor kind of got disqualified for whatever reason. So it just fell back to me, and I was like, I'm here and I'm ready to do it.
So you do the testing, you go 3 months through all of that.
Yeah, so we did the testing at the other hospital, and obviously we're not compatible. We knew that off the bat.
What type blood do you have?
A positive.
Wow, A positive, and he's O positive, right? No, O,
O
just
positive or
O?
O negative?
O negative?
O positive.
O positive and A positive,
Right.
thinking, because I've always known just from a kid, like you can't, those blood types don't match.
Right. So,
Right?
I mean, we knew off the bat I wasn't compatible, but we went into it with the paired exchange in mind.
Yeah.
It was explained to me after we did a few cycles of that. I had asked someone on my team, the donor team, like, basically, where is this going? Do we have any hope?
Yeah.
here? And I remember the doctor explaining to me very plainly, like, because your father-in-law is an O blood type, the chances are slim to nil.
Wow.
Because O being the universal donor,
Right.
if somebody out there is trying to donate to their family member and they're an O, there's no problem.
Yes, of course.
They don't have to do a paired exchange because
Right.
they're an O. Like, there's no issue. So O's don't really get a lot of success with the paired exchange. So that was kind of a blow that we had to deal with. I remember at one point they even had they said I was A, but if I was like an A subtype, there was like an A subtype, and it was like if you're that, then maybe there's a chance.
Right.
And I remember we were like, okay, maybe we have a chance here, and then even that came back negative.
So at this point, you're pretty much defeated.
Pretty much.
How do you guys circle then, Dad? How do you guys circle back to ABO? How do you guys think, okay, let's try this now?
Well, for lack of another option, I guess.
Yeah, it was sort of.
I was on dialysis and I was hating it
Right.
because of the restrictions. I mean, it kept me going.
Yeah, but I remember your energy during that time. You were, slow to move. You weren't. The energy levels were just blah. Like, I know there's a lot of people out there on kidney dialysis, and you guys are troopers. Like, sometimes it is mind over matter, but at the end of the day, your body's gonna tell you what it tells you. So I get that you were really a trooper during that.
Fortunately for me, I did the home dialysis, so I could do it at night while I slept.
Okay, I didn't even know that was an option.
Yeah, that's an option now for peritoneal, and I think it's also an option for the hemodialysis.
Okay.
But doing it at home, you have to be very diligent because of infection.
Right.
If you don't take the necessary precautions, you will get infected, and then the next thing you know, you'll be going to the hospital for your dialysis treatments.
Yeah, you definitely don't want that.
Yeah, so if you are younger and you're able to do it on your own, they give you that option. But as you said, I was always very tired, little energy.
Yeah.
But, I could still
You could still
live.
try. Yeah,
I
of
could live
course.
life, right?
Of course. So then you guys do the ABO now.
Mhm.
You're like, okay, I'm circling back to this option. Let's do it.
Yep.
Take me through that now because, I want to understand how you, as an A positive person, gets to donate a kidney to your father-in-law who is an O positive person.
Yeah, it sounds crazy,
That is
right?
the most curious thing for me in this whole process.
Well, I think I don't know. It's a lot of medical stuff that I can't really even begin to explain. I think maybe Dad kind of touched on it already a little bit.
Let me help you out with
Yeah.
that. So basically what the ABO incompatible transplant involves is our bloods have certain antigens and antibodies that prevents diseases or fight diseases and stuff like that.
Right.
It's more, the process more involves me. And what it is a week before the transplant is scheduled to happen, I would go into the hospital and I would have already had this line hooked up in my neck.
Right.
And I would go in and they would hook me up to this machine. It looks like a dialysis machine. And it runs your blood out of your body through this machine. It uses this plasma to filter the antibodies out of my blood. So in my case, it would be the anti-A antibodies that it would be pulling out.
Right.
And first of all, you have to qualify to do this.
And what made you qualified?
So basically, it's your antibodies. I believe the number is 256. If it's anything higher than that, they wouldn't do it.
Okay.
Right? So my antibodies, I believe, started off at 126.
Okay.
And after, I believe it was 2 treatments that I had, it was down to 8.
Oh, wow.
And which was miraculous.
Yeah. That's a really drastic drop.
Yeah, the girls in the clinic there said, you never see this. Hardly do you see this, right? And by the time, so when I got to 8, I did one more treatment, and I was down to 1 to 1.
Wow.
Which meant I was clear.
Of all the antibodies.
Well, according to that ratio, yeah.
Wow.
I was clear of everything.
You're like a miracle body, Dad.
Yeah. So I was ready now for the transplant. So I was admitted to the hospital on a Sunday, and they just checked me again. Everything was okay. Stayed overnight. Steve came in the morning. So that's the process of removing these antibodies. For Steve, it's basically he goes in, they prepare him, and maybe Steve can tell you about that.
Yeah, how was that process for you? Because now Dad's doing that.
Yep.
He gets it. Now you gotta go.
Yeah, the testing, the pre-testing was pretty much the same as it was at the old hospital. I just had to redo some of the tests because they had expired. Routine blood tests, kidney function tests, GFL tests or GFR. It's just the filtration rate of your kidneys. They did a chest X-ray, kidney X-ray, heart test, like a stress test, running on a treadmill with the stuff attached.
Do they have anybody come in and just talk to you about your overall mental state as well?
So that came towards the end.
Okay, so we could get to that.
Yeah.
But you do a lot of this upfront testing to test all the medical, all the basic, your body's, how is that working, everything's good, alignment levels are good.
They gotta make sure that you have a good kidney to do.
Yeah.
And then of course they've gotta make sure that you will survive with one kidney as well.
Yeah, of course.
So they gotta, make sure that you're healthy enough to, for your recipient's sake and also for your own sake going forward afterwards.
And then when you were done that, you went in just shortly after him, right? What was it, like a day or?
I remember Dad going in like a week before the surgery and just having to be there every day for a week, maybe a little less than a week, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know.
I was scheduled to go for a week, but because of the success of the treatments, I went for 3 days.
Right.
Oh, wow, okay.
Every day. And then I went back on the Sunday.
So Dad was there the night before the surgery, already admitted and ready to go. I came in on the Monday morning, May 13th.
Oh, so we're almost at a year.
Yeah, it's almost been a year.
Congratulations, guys. We're almost at a year for 2020.
And I mean, we went in, they prepped me.
How are you feeling? Now, you're a donor.
Oh.
Okay? Like, and I know there's a lot of people out there that are like, oh, I might have somebody that I want to give my kidney to, but you're scared, and naturally, granted, you can be. And I'm sure you were frightened as hell.
Oh, yeah.
So how did you feel? Because now you know this is happening, and you're like...
Like, the weeks leading up to it was like, I was like, wow, this is real. This is happening. I'd be at work, and it's all I could think about. Like, I can't believe... I would take a shower, and I would, like, look in the mirror, and I'd be like, I can't believe they're going to slice me open. And
that's fair. It's fair to say those things and feel it because you're
scared.
Not the only one out there, right?
Without a doubt, I was scared. The day, and as it got closer...
I'm doing a countdown from 30 days.
Oh, yeah? You guys are doing a 30-day countdown.
I think so, yeah.
It's a final countdown. That's
But-
the thing that comes to my head.
The song?
The song, yeah.
But no, it was very scary. The day of, I just remember waking up. And I was like, this is it. This is happening. Yeah, I was scared, but I was also like, just...
You had faith.
Yeah, I did. I had faith that this was... Or else I
Dad
wouldn't have
had
done it.
faith.
Or else
You
I wouldn't
had
have done it,
faith.
right? Like, you
Yeah.
have to have faith that this is going to work, or else no one's going to willingly do this if it's not going to work out.
Yeah, of
You have
course.
to believe that it's going to work. And I just wanted to get it over with, to be honest with you. I don't know if that sounds weird, but I was just to the point where I've been thinking about it and just worrying about it for like a month.
Yeah.
Let's just do it. Get it over with. Hopefully I wake up on the other end.
And you were good. Dad, I have to
That was
ask you, how were you feeling? You know, you're like, oh my God, I'm going to get this kidney and it's coming from my son-in-law. How are you feeling about that?
You know what? To be honest with you, I was happy,
Of course.
but at one point, I started thinking about it, and I said, you know, I don't want Steve to go through this. And I even told Nadia, I said, you know, maybe, you know, I should just stay on the dialysis and see if we get a kidney. But then she said, you know, no, Dad, we're going to do it. Steve wants to do it. And, you know, I was trying to, you know, evoke something out of him to say, yes, we want to do this. It's for you, you know?
Yeah.
Rather than, well, my dad needs a kidney and, you know, we're going to do it just to help him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
They
understand
wanted
that.
to do it because they wanted to do it. And actually, that came out in the end because Steve said to me one day, he said, Dad, you know, he said, I want you to be around for your grandkids. They're young
Yeah.
and we don't know how long you'll be on dialysis and, you know, how many more years you have on that, right?
Yeah.
But, and he said, you know, I want to give you this kidney because I want you to be around for your family and especially your grandkids. I want them to grow up with you. I see how you are with them. They love you.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
And how we play together, you know?
Yeah.
And then I said, you know what, okay.
This guy plays great games, but Dad cheats, just so you all know. This guy's a cheater.
So I made up my mind at that point and I said, okay, we'll go through with it.
Right.
And
So
I
you guys-
decided that there's no turning back now. And leading up to the actual date, I came to the realization that, you know what, my life is going to be better. And once I get this kidney, and, you know, things are going to be better for me
Of
and for my whole family, that I don't have the restrictions that I used to have before.
Right.
You know, I couldn't go to Nadia's house, say, and stay overnight. And if I did, I had to bring all this equipment with me.
Yeah.
And, you know, unless I came for a week, I said, I'm not coming for more than a day.
And I think that's what people forget too. Like when you're going through this as a person, it gets really hard because there's so much equipment and so much stuff that comes with it.
Exactly. And you have to be on a specific schedule. You cannot miss your schedule.
Right.
So Nadia and Steve know when I came to visit, I would say, okay, we got to go home. I got to go hook up. That was the term. I have to go home and hook up. And they
Right.
knew exactly what I meant.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I'd come home, you know, sanitize myself, get myself ready and get hooked up. And then I have to go to bed, really.
Yeah.
So I'd have to go to bed around 8 o'clock.
And put the
Because I
dialysis
need
on and just let it
At
run.
least 12 hours of dialysis.
Wow. That's a lot, Dad.
Yeah.
It's amazing what the human body can do.
Mm-hmm.